Heat, we've got the storms, and then of course, we're watching something in the tropics, but actually here it looks like we'll have no effects from whatever may eventually potentially try to form this weekend. I'll show you in a second. We're highlighting Florida for that general area of development, but our temperature here about 90 degrees and our feels like temperature, as I was showing you, way into the triple digits. So a really hot and sizzling kind of feel on this Tuesday afternoon. Our live radar is so quiet though. We do have storms to our southeast, but we don't have any going on over land just yet. So we might tack on at least a couple degrees to our temperatures today for maybe highs around 93, 94, and about a 40% chance of rain that just hasn't gotten going just yet. But through the afternoon, don't be surprised by a few scattered downpours, hot and steamy, and then this afternoon we'll be back, or this evening, back into the 80s. Our high resolution model does have a few of these isolated or spotty showers and storms forming up by 4 p.m. It actually has a little rain into this early evening as well, 6 and 7 p.m. Still some rain here and there, and then most of it quiets down overnight. Tomorrow, we may have a slightly higher chance of rain potentially. This is by 2 p.m. tomorrow. You can see maybe a little bit more coverage than today. 5 p.m. and then on toward the nighttime hours, maybe still a few showers and storms wrapping up even tomorrow evening and early in the night. Now let's get into our satellite and radar imagery showing some showers and storms off of our coast. And what we've been talking about for this coming weekend is a big area of potential development. This is just the spot where some of these possibly, if we do see low pressure forming up, where it might develop and take on some tropical characteristics. So it has a low 30% or so chance of development in the next 7 days. And what we'll see is this surface front sliding in and stalling here. And this is a setup where sometimes you can see the surface low pressure areas develop along an old front. And if it drifts out over water, that can sometimes lead to some tropical development, some kind of slow development this time of year when we get into hurricane season and the waters out here are warm. Notice the Euro model has a little bit of some storminess forming up, but it doesn't really have a lot. The GFS doesn't either, so neither model really going very strongly with indications that this will become a depression or storm. In the upper levels of the atmosphere, what we'll be watching is here's low pressure, and you can see some low pressure right over Florida here by this weekend. This is on Saturday. Meantime, of course, we're dealing with this high. We've been talking about this for days. This is going to be building over us this weekend, bringing really hot, scorching kind of weather for the 4th of July. We may have highs around 95 or 96 into this weekend, and not a lot of rain thanks to that sinking motion, the rain suppression that we get with high pressure systems. But watch this upper low, and then look what happens with the Bermuda high off to the east. It may move in and kind of nudge eventually an upper low into the Gulf, and that might eventually bring some rain to the northern Gulf of Mexico. So we're looking at the European rainfall forecast here, for example, just one model showing rain along that surface front, and also into early next week, maybe some over the northern Gulf. And for us, probably not all that much unless we see some of those showers early next week spread over our area. By the way, we talk about upper level versus surface, and you might wonder, what are we talking about? Well, this is the troposphere. This is the atmosphere going up from the surface of the Earth. And you can see Mount Everest is topping out here almost at 6 miles above the surface. When we talk about upper level systems, we're talking about 3 miles up. Or a little bit higher than that. And of course, surface is lower down. Commercial jets are flying around 6 miles or so. Thunderstorms can sometimes, if they get strong, extend really far up into the troposphere. And then we also have lower clouds, those overcast gray skies you get in the winter, much closer to the surface. So a surface front, a surface low, that's all down here. The upper levels, again, are about 3+ miles above the surface, and to get tropical formation, that needs to have a surface low pressure system, at least to get started. So that's why we're talking about that as opposed to the upper low for this weekend. 7-day forecast shows the heat building this weekend, and early next week we might have a little higher chance thanks to that upper low, maybe spreading some rain over us on Monday and Tuesday.